What's going on, guys? Harry here. Got a lot of training footage for you guys in this video. This was the first 2 days of my third week on this new program, and everything's feeling really good and I'm really happy about it. These squats, this was my hypertrophy day, so this was 6 sets of 5 reps at 350 pounds, and I was really happy with the way that these moved. I know I've been saying that a lot, but my squats have never really felt this good or really looked this good, I don't think, in the past. So just really glad to have happy that I'm able to get a lot better at low bar and found a stance and just technique in general that's really comfortable for me and allows me to kind of get the most out of my squat. And I'm sure that I'm going to be seeing a lot more progress in increasing intensity over the next few weeks. So again, 6 sets of 5 here. This was a lot of volume, 30 reps total, but 6 sets. I haven't hit 6 sets of squats in a pretty long time, so taking about 3 to 5 minutes in between each set, so it took me a while to get through. But overall, each set moved really well. I really didn't think that my form started to break down at all, which I was happy with. And I think the one thing over the past few weeks that has helped me the most in kind of getting my technique to where it is and kind of where I want it to be is the cue to kind of just drive my back and traps up and back instead of just thinking about driving my back up, trying to keep my torso upright. Because that's always what I used to think about in the past, was try to keep my torso upright, and I'd really just try to muscle through the weight with my lower back and just think about contracting the muscles in my legs in order to get the weight up. But since I've been thinking about more bringing my upper back into the bar and also up, it's helped me stay upright a lot more. And again, just really happy with the way that these are looking. I decided to record all 6 sets of my squats on this day, and I threw them all in the video just because my coach Joe takes a look at these videos and just figured it'd be better to have more clips to look at. So it's going to be pretty long. This video is 10 minutes. And figured that in the meantime, something that someone asked me to cover in the past video, just a suggestion of something to talk about, was injuries that I've dealt with in the past. So just to give you guys some context, I started lifting weights pretty long time ago. I guess when I was around 14, my dad used to take me to the gym, and I never really was into it, so it was just kind of me going through the motions, not really on any specific program, just kind of get moving since I was a pretty fat kid. And then about 16 years old, when I was how old are you at 16? Sophomore or junior in high school, I started going to the gym a little bit more. Frank was a senior then, so we'd go to the gym together sometimes. There was a gym that actually just opened 5 minutes from our house, which is the gym that we train at when we're home. So that gym had opened in 2008, and that's where we started training. Never really had any injuries then. I also didn't have any real goals except for to lose weight, and again, I was always pretty chubby. But Frank and I both got into powerlifting in around 2012 or 2013. We did our first few meets in 2013 and have been training the powerlifting movement since then. So training has been pretty difficult since then, I guess you could say, just in terms of a lot of volume, and the potential for injury definitely increased since we started getting a little bit more specific with our training. But the only real injury that I ever had was, if you guys remember, last fall, so fall of 2014, I think it was September, I ended up tearing my labrum in my left shoulder. So it was a posterior inferior tear, so it wasn't a slap tear or anything that a lot of real athletes get. So it didn't really require surgery, or the doctor that I went to said that it didn't require surgery as long as it got better with physical therapy. And I'm glad to say that it did. I went to physical therapy about 3 times a week for, I'd say 6 to 8 weeks. In about 6 to 8 weeks, I was good to start bench pressing again. But I think I continued to go to physical therapy 2 or 3 times a week for, I'd say, about 12 to 16 weeks. And the more I did, the better. I was doing so much work on my shoulder, just strengthening up my rotator cuff and everything, and it really helped me. So I was really glad that I was able to be consistent with that. The place I went to for physical therapy was actually my dad's office. So my dad's a chiropractor and he has physical therapy in his office too. So it's definitely helpful to be able to go down there and get physical therapy for that. So that's pretty much the only serious injury I've had. And as you can see in my bench pressing now, it doesn't bother, it'd be a lie for me to say it didn't bother me at all. But I do feel it sometimes. I usually just do some work like internal, external rotation, just kind of move the joint through different movements that it doesn't get trained through doing like conventional exercises. So back to my training. This was my bench strength day. This was 3 sets of 4 at 270 pounds. I think this was 85% or so. So it's still not up to like 90% or anything in my training, but for being 6 weeks out, I think this is a good spot to be. And the bar is continuing to move fast, especially as volume is pretty much maintaining, and really glad that I'm able to perform at this level with this level of volume that I'm training at. The last meet that I prepped for back in August, I remember at this point, like 6 weeks out, my volume was a lot lower than it is now. So really looking forward to continuing on this prep, bringing volume down and seeing what my performance looks like then, because my performance is really good right now and I'm really happy with it. I still haven't been able to get any leg drive on bench press. I only hit this one day so far this week, so I still have 2 more days coming up this week, and I'm really going to try and focus on doing whatever I can to get just a little bit of leg drive. As you guys know, like I keep my legs and glutes really tight throughout the entire movement, so it's kind of hard for me to contract those muscles further in order to get a little bit of drive in my hips. But gonna keep trying different cues that I've heard to get a little bit more leg drive there, but still really happy with the way that these are moving. That little breath thing that I take after, like at the start of the concentric on each rep, has really been helping, and I'm glad that I kind of figured that out because it allows me to get so much speed off my chest. Moving on to deadlifts, this was the second day of this training week. Changed up my deadlift technique just a tiny bit. I'm usually really quick when it comes to getting down to the bar, grabbing it, getting into position, and starting the pull, like faster than I am here. So on this day, I tried to think a little bit more. I would take my breath there, tighten my lats, grab the bar, and then take an extra second or two just to get my hips and back, like lower back, into a better position, as opposed to just grabbing the bar and ripping it off the ground. Definitely less rounding in my lower back than has been in the past couple weeks, so I'm really happy with that. And just when it comes to lifting heavier weights, higher intensities, it's going to be a lot easier for me to do that with better technique as opposed to just trying to muscle up the weight. So this was 10 sets of 1. This was like my power, speed, recovery day. 10 sets of 1 at 440, so just about 200 kilograms. And again, happy with the way that those moved. I did it kind of like EMOM style, so every minute on the minute. So I'd take like 50 seconds in between each rep to kind of reset, walk around, and then get back to the bar. And then last thing here for the first half of the week was the recovery squat. So this was the same weight that I used the other day, that I used the day before, for 6 sets of 2 as opposed to 6 sets of 5 that I hit the other day. And these moved quick. They felt a little bit heavy, but again, that's just probably because it's the day after hitting 30 reps at this weight for squats. So again, happy with the way that these look. Really just focusing on my technique, trying to shove my back up and back as much as I can, and feeling good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. A little bit longer than the other ones. Let me know what you guys think. What else you guys want to hear in the other videos coming up. Like I talked about injuries in this one. Not too much to talk about there though, thank God. Knock on wood. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment, leave me some feedback and stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And this was 235 pounds, and these moved really fast, I thought. One thing that I've actually been